Thanks so much. Hey, the Jaguars coming off a bye week and gearing up for a matchup with the Raiders, a team that has struggled thus far, but fans and players alike are looking for a turnaround, and they want it quickly. I'm joined this morning by attorney and sports agent John Phillips. Good to see you.
Good morning.
I wanted to bring in, because last week you had sent me some interesting stats on the bye week. You spent your time, instead of watching the games, just breaking down the numbers. And what was the most interesting thing you found?
It's the whole Gene Smith concept. He's the easiest target right now. And the Jaguars spin the third overall in the NFL on offense.
That's crazy.
More than the Giants, more than the Saints, more than the teams you expect, and we have the 32nd ranked offense. So that tells you there's a problem, and then you go from there to see where's the problem, and we can get into that.
Yeah, what specifically is? I mean, right now you've got a struggling offense that has trouble throwing the ball. I mean, everybody can just focus on mojo right now, really try to stop the running game. And the defense, which was kind of the bright spot last year, has really struggled now this year.
They are. And Lord forbid, had Mojo gotten his contract, we might be the second or first total offense payroll in the entire NFL. And you look at it, and they are struggling. And what I compare, we have just as many guys from Bethune-Cookman in Daytona as we do in the entire Southeastern Conference. Never mind the Southeastern Conference is putting out BCS champions year after year. They've got 130 starters in the NFL right now. If you add up the starters in the SEC, Big Ten, and ACC starters, there's probably about 350. I think it's 355.
Okay.
And the starters per league isn't what even the Jaguars have on roster. So, I mean, of all those conferences, I mean, we just don't we don't sign the big players. I had to look and see where Grand Valley State was to even figure out whether they were East Coast or West Coast, because we have just as many players, 7 from California, as we do from the state of Florida.
That is bizarre.
I mean, the business of the NFL, you've got to win, but you also want to put butts in seats, and you can't do that with people from Townsend State.
Now, I can understand the fans being frustrated right now. There's been some incidents that have not put a good light, certainly, on the city of Jacksonville. What do we do to turn that around, and what are the suggestions for the fans, just as an attorney?
Yeah, as an attorney, well, the first issue is the whole management group problem that's went back up yesterday, which we can get into at another time. But now SMG's turned Spectre, the Comcast group, into the feds, saying this is an anti-monopoly. So you got to get that out of the way as a lawyer. But the step is to figure out what direction and where you're going to head. And if you look at the Jaguars don't have 5th to 7th round picks. There's 2 left, Rashad and another player, from Gene Smith's 5th to 7th round picks for his entire history.
Wow.
Well, those are the Tom Brady's. Those are the guys that really make a program, a team magical. And so if he's not having them stick around, somebody, the scouts or the GM, are missing. And so you gotta look at Shad Khan's management style and see who we can pick to fill that void.
I think that's probably on the radar, you would imagine, right now, with the way the team is struggling, people wanting answers. Courts and Sports tonight at 6 o'clock, right?
6 o'clock, we're going to be talking about this kind of stuff. And then fan behavior, they've gotten more and more unruly. Obviously the unfortunate murder stabbing here in Jacksonville. And, somebody was tweeting Shad Khan's son about the nature of management decisions. It's gotten a little out of control.
Yeah, all right, John Phillips, thanks so much for coming in and sharing some of your thoughts. By the way, I want to remind folks, we got game this weekend, 11 a.m. We got the Mike Malarkey Show here on CBS 47. And doubleheader. First, you got after the Jaguars pregame show at 11:30, got Texans and the Ravens, the Jags and the Raiders at 4 p.m. And on Saturday, by the way, you'll be out there covering it because we'll be doing a postgame show. One of the biggest college games of the year, 3:30 on CBS 47. You got the Gators taking on South Carolina and the Gamecocks. The old ball coach coming to town, see if you can pull off any magic. And, of course, Florida trying to stay there number 2 in the BCS rankings.